I had to see how my fellow soldiers from the Mexican army jumped ship to join the cartel. My story takes place in my first year in the Mexican army. It was around Christmas time, and there was very little time left before December 24th. On a Wednesday morning, as usual, we washed up and ate as if nothing out of the ordinary was going to happen, until we had to go out on an operation to burn the happy herb. You know which one I mean? That was the order. We would head out at sunset to the mountains, where the plantations had been spotted, and where we would have to camp to secure the area and burn the plantations the next day. It would take 3 days in total. It was simple, but I felt uneasy since these operations usually last up to 2 months. Looking for more plantations and a ton of other things in such a short time seemed wrong to me and gave me a bad feeling. The short time. It's known that when there's very little time in an operation like this, it's because there's a lot of activity in that area, and that's why you have to get there quickly and come back. So when the afternoon came, it was our turn to go out with the uniform, vest, gun, and helmet. Another trip was relatively relaxed and everything. When we got halfway there, the fast boats dropped us off halfway to the plantations, and then we had to move forward through the damn place, grassland hills and a ton of mud. When night fell, we arrived at the area, and the damn plantations, which were definitely of the bad weed, stretched out almost 300 meters more than what we had been told. Since it was nighttime and so we wouldn't give any warning or signs that we were there, we had to sleep. Right there. We set up the mini camp to get through that night, take turns on watch, and get ready to do the burning the next day. Up until that moment, everything went smoothly, at least until that morning. Because on a dirt road far off in a clearing, we could see that someone was watching us. Honestly, we didn't know if they were scouts or the caretakers of those fields, so we didn't pay much attention. The sergeant's order was to hurry up and finish everything. We pulled most of the new recruits along with us, and they had to bring gasoline and spread it all over the field so we could finish this quickly and move to the extraction point to return to the battalion. We were already halfway through the job, about to start burning the field and waiting to make sure it was almost completely destroyed. I know some people might wonder, well, why not just cut it down or do something else to it? The truth is, it's just faster than being there cutting it down. Constantly risking the owners of those fields showing up armed and ready to shoot us and leave us there. That's why it's done this way. And the second reason would be that if you cut them and then leave, people could come and collect the plants before they go bad, and what we did would be for nothing. The strange part would start even before setting fire to that field. I don't know if it was the rookies or who it was, but it was a man of about 40 or 50 years old. He had already climbed up the mountain where we were, and nobody noticed him, not even that it had already caught fire. A cigar? One of those that gives off a lot of smoke like a good Cuban cigar, honestly. Despite the place, the man was very well dressed, wearing a charro suit, with his lit cigar in his hand, with long, polished, and completely shiny shoes. At this point, we all just stared, trying to figure out how Madres had gotten to us without making any noise, and also why. The rookies, meant to prevent anyone from going up, didn't notice the man who had already gone upstairs. Well, the path through that mountain range was long and deserted, without many places to hide. To get to where we were without making any noise, and honestly, there was no other way to reach us. He simply finished smoking his cigar, and by that point, we were already getting closer to question him and find out what he was doing up there. Honestly, we hadn't even started to get close when he hit us with his phrase, "Good day, gentlemen."
Let me introduce myself. I am the owner of the plantations and the leader of this small region.
We all froze when we heard this, since we didn't even know what to do. Not even the sergeant or the lieutenant knew what to do. We were all very surprised, and he continued speaking. The truth is,
I'm sorry if I scared you, but I come with a proposition to see if any of you are interested in this offer I'm making. I'm looking for some bodyguards to protect me, since the last ones I had betrayed me. I offer 30,000 pesos a month to be my personal bodyguards.
at that moment, I noticed that out of almost 20 of us, more than half were happy and interested in that man's proposal. Everything was chaos and questions until Lieutenant showed up.
I'm going to tell all of you clearly this without any tenderness or fantasies. It's true that the cartel pays more than any other job, but I want you to know this. If you go with those people, we're going to hunt you down and give you what's coming to you. If we find you, you decide whether you leave or stay, but know that being with those people is almost the same as being with us. Just so you know, think about it if you want to get involved with them.
Unfortunately, that lieutenant's words fell short. Out of the 20 of us, the vast majority were going to go with that man. Honestly, I even wanted to do it. I took the safety off my weapon, and this still makes me curious, because to this day, I don't know how he heard it. And the phrase he said to me,
I wouldn't do what you're planning, soldier. It's best to leave things as they are. Also, I hadn't seen you before. Wow, you're really beautiful. Want to work for me as my hit woman and bodyguard for $35,000 a month? Are you in?
I didn't pay attention. I still wanted to empty the magazine on him. I didn't say anything to that man. My posture and body language made it clear to him, don't mess with me.
I have no price.
But the lieutenant calmed me down and didn't let me do the crazy thing I was planning to do. That's it.
Forget it, Caramello. You'll do it soon. For now, just let things be.
In total, out of the 20 of us, 13 went along with that man. Soldiers who had almost 3 years of service, and even the rookies who didn't even know how things worked, left, leaving their equipment and weapons behind. In total, only 7 of the 20 of us who went to that mountain remained. We finished burning the field and quickly headed to the extraction point. We arrived at dusk at the agreed point. When the quick response vehicles arrived, we loaded the gear of our comrades, and on the third trip, we loaded the gear of the deserters and took off back to the battalion. Upon arrival, it was necessary to report and notify that our comrades had switched sides to the enemy, and unfortunately, also notify the families of those same people. That was the first time I saw people who were supposed to protect and defend the homeland, to serve, to be loyal to the people and the country, as well as being the people who stop evil. Sometimes it turns out that their price is lower than what you expect, and their willpower is weaker than P with dysfunction. P. And honestly, I feel like that comparison doesn't do it justice. I had no choice but to just accept everything. How it was that people I trusted and, above all, had grown fond of, had already turned against me. They had sold out to the cartel for just $30,000 a month. I, for my part, kept going as usual, as I should, loyal to what I know, and I was a soldier in the Mexican army. Honestly, the happy part of this story comes when I found out, almost a year later, when I barely even remembered that event. My old comrades, who had joined the cartel with that guy, ended up meeting St. Peter, thanks to nothing more than some simple municipal police officers with support from the Marines, who took down all 13 of them. Apparently, they were in a convoy delivering business profits to the boss. When they ran into the police, they shot at the officers and exchanged gunfire with the police and the Marines. And that's where they ended up. They left them full of holes. Not a single one of them made it past that day. That was their end. And if you still think getting involved with the cartel is a good idea, well, this is my story that I'd like to share. For those who are thinking about getting involved and think nothing will ever happen to them, so you think twice before getting into that. If you also have a story you want to share, send it to me, Cornell, to my email, or any of my social media accounts. I'll read it as soon as I can. Thanks for watching the video. Honestly, it really helps a lot if you like, comment, or share it. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you can subscribe. I really appreciate it. See you next time.